Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to the Little Reader's house. I'm the Little Reader, also known as Amanda, and I just joggled the microphone cord, so forgive me if the audio gets a little funky. I don't think it should do that because, well, it's a long story, but I'll make it short. This microphone, I broke it, but then a friend repaired it, which was a huge gift, so I don't think we should have an issue. Thanks for going there with me on that. Anyway, I'm the Little Reader. We're in my house, and by we I mean you and I, beautiful soul. We're here together sharing space along with this gorgeous rose quartz sphere. And as I was holding this sphere in my hands, had this song, I think it goes, he's got the whole world in his hands. But I was thinking I got the whole world in my hands because that's what it feels like holding this. That's the best way I can explain it. It feels like I've got the entire world in my hand. So, another journey. Thanks for going there with me on that as well. We're going to dive into the channeling and start with the Lotus of Life right over here. So let's take a look and see what question wants to come out. And for those who are just joining, hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. These questions are put into comments. They are submitted through email. I hear them in conversation. They come up channeled sometimes. So whatever it is, let's find out. Ooh, am I supposed to remember my past lives? Wow, what a great question. Check out my handwriting, or don't. Am I supposed to remember my past lives? Wow, okay. Very interested to hear what Spirit has to say about this. So let's go. Saucy Spirit. It's so interesting how often the answer matches the energetic frame of reference from whence the question was asked, from whence it came. So when I say saucy spirit, the response is very snappy. It's very almost mental, which illustrates that this question is one of the mind. Now, of course, all questions are framed through the mind at this time. In reality, we understand questions as being inquiries for more information. So, of course, that happens in the mental realm, right? That's what we think. But Spirit says there's a way to walk through this world as a question. In fact, that is one of the most celebrated, not one of the most, there is no hierarchy, but it is a celebrated way of being in Spirit's perspective, to walk through life openly, allowing every bit of information that comes in to be held and appreciated equally, without judgment. It's a very expansive way to live, and it's a lifestyle. So there is more to questions than just the intellect. There's more to questions than just trying to glean new information and then shove it into a corner of our minds to either put some thought to sleep or wake some other thought up. And that's linked to this question right here. Am I supposed to remember my past lives? It's like, is there information that I need from those lives that is going to change? It's going to make me better. It's going to optimize my experience. It's going to give me an edge. It's going to improve me from my former ignorant self who doesn't know about my past lives. So Spirit comes through to say, if the mind is asking this question, then the answer is no. If the mind is asking this question on the premise that if I remember my past lives, I am more complete, I am more equipped for this present life, then Spirit gently responds with, everything that the mind is and has access to in this very moment right here is enough. And it is not accidental or unintentional that there is information the mind does not have access to at any given moment. That does not mean that information is being intentionally kept away for the purpose of forcing a form or a mind to go on a journey to get that information. Like, oh, it's being hidden from me, therefore my mission is to now discover, to aggressively find, to locate, to access this information. I must have it or I am incomplete. That's not the reason that the information isn't present. The reason that the information isn't present is because the information is not required to experience bliss and peace in this present moment. In fact, nothing is required to be added, including information, to experience bliss and peace in this moment. Now, don't let the mind take that and blanket statement it and start applying it to extreme situations all over the globe, as is the mind's gift. We love you, mind. Goes, no, wait a second. How does that apply to people in this situation over here? That statement isn't meant for people in that situation over there. This transmission, beautiful soul, is meant for your heart, yours, you the one looking at me, nobody else. Nothing else exists outside of this moment. I almost said excite, and I am. Outside of this moment between you and I, nothing else exists. So we need not ever take a principle or a concept that is being transmitted and then quickly seek to broadly apply it to the entire globe to test out if it could possibly be true. That only works in a mental framework based on the way that every individual mental link gauges whether something is sound. And that is all subjective. No mental link, none of our minds that access the mental collective have the corner on the most objective, best way to weigh truth. We can only ever access a subjective truth through the realm of mind. So this is for you, beautiful soul. Nothing needs to be added to you, including information, for you to experience bliss and peace in this moment. That includes information about your past lives. Now, why might a heart ask about its past lives versus a mind? A mind would be seeking info and insights so that it can identify further in one direction or another, or pick up some new skills, gain a greater sense of identity by identifying with half forms, thoughts, and beliefs. But why would a heart ask the question? Because Spirit's saying that a heart can ask too. Going back to that premise that there are more than intellectual ways to ask a question. A heart might ask this question to feel its own wholeness, to understand how it connects to more than the form, more than the mind. A heart might ask about its past lives so that it can feel its presence more truly, feel its totality across time more completely. And in that case, Spirit says, if you as a soul, my friend, are seeking to remember your past lives to fill in a missing corner, a missing chunk, or feel in. So one is fill in, F-I-L-L, the other is feel, F-E-E-L. Feel in to the grander journey that your awareness has hopped through. That's a different story. But the remembrance of your past lives may not be to the mind's liking. The mind wants the whole story. Who was I? When was I born? Okay. What did I accomplish? Was I well liked? Tell me everything. And what skills did I have? And where do I get all the info that I gleaned then? And then how can I incorporate it into who I am now so I can just, supercharge myself? So it may not like the answer that the heart receives. The heart will get a different kind of transmission. And this is one of the reasons that we as a species at this precise time in history are only now beginning to venture into the realm of heart. We've stayed out of it for so long because the mind just didn't approve. It wasn't stimulating enough, it wasn't interesting enough, and it didn't impart enough knowledge in the form of information that could be transmitted, controlled, and sold. When a heart inquires about its past lives, the answer is immediately granted in the heart space. And the knowledge that is transmitted won't necessarily be with the identity, we dropped the world, with the identity of who we were in that past life. It won't necessarily be what the skills were. It might not be intellectually understandable information. So the mind gets real pouty about that. But that's okay. The heart thrills in the knowledge that, in the knowing as an action versus as a possession, as a holding onto of information, knowing as an experience, that it can say, who was I in a past life? What is my history? And how does that work with my mission? And if we then bring our awareness into this space and just hold it there with that intention set, we don't need to conjure, we don't need to force, we don't need to bring the mind on board to start interpreting the frequencies that show up as half forms. It may be that frequencies emit from the heart to answer the question that the mind can interpret into symbols, images, information, but we don't push for that. We allow the question to be answered at the very moment that it's asked. And the way that it will be answered according to spirit is in a feeling of bliss, a feeling of wholeness. As a recognition that who you are at this juncture, at this point, already includes everything you need to know about your past lives. And if there's anything that can be revealed, it will be. It will be unlocked. It will be shown. It will be activated. And that message is transmitted as peace. So again, the mind might be frustrated by the lack of immediate gratification. Well, I wanted names and dates. I wanted something I could track to prove to people that this is real, Doing the Lord's work out here. But Spirit says, you already have all the knowledge, all the information you need, mind. And as for you, heart, you will receive the vibrations, the frequencies, the entire spectrum of light just by bringing your awareness to this space, dipping into it, into the light that resides here, and spending time in that place. It will activate. It will answer with the overwhelming feeling of all is well. And in that feeling, interestingly, is the information that is then picked up by every layer of your existence at a cellular level in the form, as half forms, as thoughts in the mind, as direction, as a compass, as a pull in the direction that you are meant to go by the heart. Am I supposed to remember my past lives? You have no past lives. You're here. You're now. You're hip. You're happening. You're in this form. You have this amount of information stored up here. You have this breath. You have this access to infinity right in the center of your chest, frequently untapped. What you need to know, what you're supposed to know, you already know. Because this moment is complete. Like you, beautiful soul, it's perfect. It's done. It's finished. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? So, the final thing that Spirit illustrates, this word, if you can read this writing, not my best work. Supposed, right? Am I highlighting that correctly? That's a key. Spirit would like us to hop away with it, take it away. The word should, the word supposed. In this world, it doesn't look like this. Washed in love. This is rose quartz, a frequency of nurture, comfort, intimacy, some romance. Agape. I said I had the whole world in my hands. This is not what the world looks like right now because of a couple of words. Should and supposed. You're supposed to do this. You should do that. You're supposed to do this. You should do that. As if. That implies that perfection is not here right now. That implies that the work is ever in progress. The healing is ever ongoing. You're supposed to heal. You're supposed to integrate. Should be focused on, self-love. We can take even the most beautiful concepts like self-love and bastardize them into, interesting choice of word, into an assignment. Spirit looks at a question like this and says, of course you're not supposed to remember your past lives. You're not supposed to do anything but follow this. Again, don't let the mind co-opt this. It can give you a list of 1,001 things that you're supposed to do or that you should do or be. But we're moving on from the mind. We've done our work. We don't need to blanket statement this across the entirety of the globe. Again, this is for you. You've got all the information you need. You've got infinity right here, center of the chest. You've got perfection. I'm looking at it. I'm witnessing it. I'm feeling you. I'm seeing you. Perfect. Divine. Let's gently take these words, supposed and should, and kiss them on the head. And let them fly off. Goodbye, my loves. And instead embrace. All is well. I have everything I need right here, right now, for bliss and peace, which is ultimately all I'm ever seeking. And I can do a million dances and gyrations to try to get to it. Manipulate the external world, manipulate the internal world, try to remember, get more information, more knowledge, right? Create problems and then create solutions. Do this little dance in the mental realm. And Spirit applauds it all. Spirit is like the ultimate witness, just looking at the dance going, oh, this is so good. But Spirit would also invite you to take a little break from the dance. You don't have to be dancing all the time. Get still. You are enough. And that's not just some trite cuteness. That's big facts. You, as awareness, are infinite and divine, pristine, magical, a miracle, enormous. The size of you is unspeakable. And you as awareness aren't just enough. You're everything. So shine that awareness lovingly on the mind that asks such a question. Say, oh, beautiful mind, I see you. I honor you. Shine that awareness lovingly on the form that seeks to be validated, seeks to change, seeks to adapt, seeks to supposed to and should, wants to be a good servant. Shine some loving awareness on that. Hey, you're wonderful. And then, when you have the opportunity, take that awareness, put it in the realm of heart, and recharge. Touch back to the source. Touch back to the flow of love and bliss and harmony and peace, so that you can remember, yeah, that's me. I'm awareness. I forgot for a second, but I remember. And in that remembrance, all the information you could ever want is accessible. You just might find out that you don't want anything anymore. But to smile and enjoy. And that, beautiful soul, is where we are leaving it today. Until we meet again tomorrow, I am sending you, you know it, all the love I've got, always more, never less, because you are so very worthy of it. You also are it. Okay, my friend. Bye for now.